your local Channel C dealer.
Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
I really just wanted to put on a show for them and just leave Coke Arena, my final game, with my best I could do. So this is just what I wanted to be remembered as and for in this area and nationally. So
out of Marcus Carr, inside the arc, swings it to Rice, open look for three, good! Jabari knocks down the three-pointer. He has 12. Texas leads by 15.
I thought we played like we were on islands today. That's what happens when you come in and rank, like you guys know this with us. We got a pretty decent team, but we're pretty good only when we really play together.
39-37, West Virginia with a 2-point lead, front court, sideline, Stevenson lets a three-ball go. Got it! Eric Stevenson lined it up, his 11th point.
And I'd say some years you sit around and think, man, maybe we only want to win one, and get that extra day of rest. But I don't, with this team, I don't feel that way. But the hardest game to win is the first game, right? And it don't matter who we play, it's going to be a quad one game.
14 on the shot clock, Lipsy given space, drives in, leaves it for Kelscher. Gabe, a three on the way, challenge, got it! Gabe Kelscher from downtown, a big three!
Rebound to Buffkin, he brings it up the floor, half court, throws it away, Indiana's gonna win it! Indiana wins!
This game and Caitlin Clark knocks down yet another three. You cannot be sitting inside the three-point line when Caitlin Clark is bringing the ball down the floor. Every highlight you see across the country is the logo three. You gotta get up there and put some pressure on her.
Presented by Barton Theater with multiple showings from March 2nd through the 4th and March 9th through the 11th. In this sci-fi suspense classic, humans have created robots meant to serve humankind, but the robots have other plans and an epic battle between man and machine erupts. The show has been adapted and modernized by Barton Theater from the original 1921 production. Visit shows.bartoncccc.edu for tickets.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
I had a young gal come in the other day who has been having chronic back pain. Did a session just helping her to understand her pain, not understanding her back, but teaching her how her nervous system works. And just that knowledge just calmed her down so much. She came back in this morning, huge smile on her face, and she was so excited to learn more. It was a blast.
Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Come see what's new at Northview. We have something for you, like trees and shrubs and the plants that you love, perennials, annuals, and daffodil bulbs. And as the seasons changing, we're always rearranging. You never know just what you're gonna find, but you'll see a miracle every time. Just take 281 North to come see what's new at Northview.
H&B Communications in Holyrood is more than an internet company. H&B takes pride in supporting local schools, businesses, and organizations. Doing business with H&B goes directly back into the community. So you're more than a customer, you're a neighbor. Their state-of-the-art broadband technology keeps you in touch with your family, your friends, your customers, and the world. Find out more at hbcom.net. H&B Communications in Holyrood. Committed to connection.
Sports Day, presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
One of the biggest asked questions people wonder about here, as Alan Clark is in here on the show today. So Aaron's not your son, right?
No.
Okay.
No. He's about, what are you, 6'6"? 6'7"? Yeah.
Okay.
So, no way.
That's not from the Clark. The Clarks. Alan Clark joining us here, Barton women's basketball coach on the show today. And good weekend. Didn't have a game. Probably still got a lot of work done.
Yeah. We got together as a team and watched Northwest Tech and Cloud, who Cloud won that game. So we'll play Cloud tomorrow night. And so, yeah, we had a good weekend. Got some work in, on the court. And so we should be ready to go.
Cloud beats Cali 71-63. Independence knocks off Garden City 82-78. Hutchinson over Northwest Tech 102-79. And that was men. Let me go down to the women here. I thought okay, Independence beating Cali 68-54. Coffeyville over Pratt 80-69. Garden City steps up and knocks off Seward 60-59, and Cloud over Northwest Tech 84-68. I guess not too well. Garden winning kind of was.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that game too because it was a later game, and Seward jumped out 21-4, and Garden City came back and got them in overtime. So
sometimes you don't. If you take a bye, you're worried about you're not. You get out of the flow of things, but this not here. I don't think.
No, it's nice to have that little extra day break. So we work for the bye. That's one of the things that you even the Chiefs wanted that bye, and so yeah, and obviously football's a little different than basketball.
Yeah,
it's even more so in football. But yeah, we liked having that bye and get right on to the next round.
Okay, you take on Cloud County. I remember this because you started the year, Alan, 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went through that tough stretch. I mean, you dropped 2 or 3 games. You went up to Concordia.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were behind. I mean, after the first quarter, I think it's like 17-11. You weren't playing that good.
Right.
And that kind of got you going when you came back, got that win. And then you got on another little roll. And really, you've been on a roll the rest of the season for the most part.
Yeah, that was a big win up there because, Cloud's a tough place to play. It's on the road, and Coach Erkenbrack does a great job with this squad. And I think at that time they'd won like 4 in a row.
They were the hot team in the league.
I guess they lost to Pratt right before us, but they won like 4 in a row, then lost to Pratt. But yeah, it was a big game for us. We held them to 42, I think. We didn't score much ourselves, but we were able to grind it out and get the win. And I think we went on to win at Butler right after that, or something, or maybe a couple games after that. I don't remember exactly, but I had a couple of nice road wins there in a row, and then right after Christmas break, we went to Seward and won. So, those are games, that when you put them on the calendar and you look at them, those aren't for sure things,
Yeah, you go through your shooting slump, and then you go up there and you got 11 points in the first quarter and think, what is going on? And then you really got things turned around the second quarter.
Our defense has really carried us most of the season. We've had, some good games offensively, but we've really been hanging our hat on the defensive end, and we lead the conference in defensive field goal percentage, and we lead the conference in points allowed. So those are good things.
You've been able to contain them. 42 points in the first game, 41 you held them to when you beat them here out at the Kirkman Center, 58-42. So, you've been able to shut them down, man.
Yeah, but hopefully we can do it one more time.
Okay.
We got to do it one more time, and they're a scary team. They've got some players that can score the ball. We just got to guard them. We've had good game plans. Our kids have carried out the game plans against them so far, and we don't see a lot of different stuff from them coming in. But they're a very physical team. They really guard you, and we've only been scoring in the 50s ourselves in those games.
Cloud is, you've been very consistent this year. Cloud's been the other way. They've gone through stretches where, like I said, they started off fast and they kind of slumped. They played a little bit, and then they finished, I think, a little bit stronger than they had been. But they've been kind of inconsistent this year.
Yeah, they're an up and down, or have been an up and down team. But one thing, their defense is always pretty well shows up. They've been a little inconsistent offensively, but their defense is always pretty solid.
Okay. Anybody particular on that team that you guys are going to be aware of?
Well, the number 15, I can't pronounce her name. She's from New Zealand.
Sopoaga.
Yeah, whatever you.
Yeah, or Sissoko.
I think they just call her T.
Okay, that's a good way to do it. Okay.
Yeah, so she's a really nice player. She was a good player last year. She was an all-conference player coming back, and so we've got to guard her, obviously. And then they've got a big kid that's not bad, Sissoko.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah, you got that? Okay.
And they've got a couple of other kids that can score the ball. So we just got to lock down, and a lot of it's the defensive end is also rebounding, not giving them second chances. The first time when we went to their place, we gave them about 20 offensive rebounds. Now, you got to take that with a grain of salt. When you miss 60 shots or 55, then there's a lot more rebounds to be had. And so sometimes, that those offensive rebound numbers can get skewed that way because of just numbers. And so I usually like to go more by a percentage. If we can hold them like to 15 or 16% offensive rebounds, then we should be in good shape.
I know that, if you got into a semifinal matchup, or you're not going to worry about a team trying something completely that they haven't done all year, but you never know when you come in a game like this. They're the underdogs in this game. You don't know. Maybe they'll try to throw something out that maybe you aren't even expecting.
Well, if it was a different coach, I might. But Coach Erkenbrack, he's been around for 35, 36 years, whatever it is, and I'm not looking for him to do a lot, anything real drastic. It'd be drastic for him if he played zone instead of man. He's going to play aggressive man, and we just got to be able to handle that physicality.
I bet they're going to play zone.
Might now if somebody sends this to him, he might now. No, we're the ones that usually known for doing something silly. We've gone to some triangles and twos and diamond and ones.
I'm telling you what, that's the best. Junk defenses are awesome
if you can play them. Yeah.
I'd guard their best player with 3 of mine sometimes if you.
Hey. We did that to Gunnar Phelan when I was coaching at Otis Bison. We double teamed him. Whenever he had the ball, we put 2 on him and had the other 3 in a triangle. Yeah. Gunnar will probably remember that too.
How'd he do?
Got 8 points. Coach Kinnaman at St. John called me the next day and said, "How in the world did you hold him to 8 points?" And I think he went out and got 30 against St. John the next
Okay,
time
so that's what you. Okay, so is that called officially a what would you call that?
It's still a triangle and 2, but you put the 2 on one guy. Now they had a kid named Simpson. I remember him. He was pretty darn good too. And so when Gunner didn't have the ball, we were guarding Simpson with the other guy. So
what do you do?
It was crazy.
What do you do? What's the best way to beat a? Well, we saw this with Great Bend. You have another player step up that goes unconscious that's hit 1 3-pointer all year, and then they get 3 in 1 quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you try to do against
that's the problem is
a box?
That's the problem. If you got somebody that steps up and does something out of character for them, then you could be in trouble that way. When we were at Dodge on Wednesday, we were playing off of their point guard. We had Jenny, our 5, is guarding their point guard, and because that's how she's a stocky kid, Jada Burton, and she'd given us trouble in the past, and so we got Jenny on her, and we're telling her to sag off. Well, Burton goes 1 for 6 from 3 in the first half, which is just what we wanted, and then she hits 3 of them in the second half, and they were able to come back and beat us. But that's the chance you got to take. When you're playing against a really good team, sometimes you play the percentages, and hopefully the percentages come out in your favor most of the time. That's the idea behind it, right?
Yeah. Good game with Dodge to wrap
up
the season.
Much better than what we played them here. We led by 14 at one time, and we were at the free throw line for 2 shots and missed them both, and could have put us up 16. And just understanding that whenever they give you an opportunity, you've got to seize it. You can't waste any opportunities, and not that those 2 free throws missed cost us the game by any means, but obviously you'd rather be up 14 or up 16 than 14, and then later in the game when you're up 4, if you make those 2 free throws earlier, you're up 6, and it's 2-possession game, and the whole thing it just matters, and you just try to get those kids to understand every possession matters. Every possession, you can't waste. You're gonna have some turnovers and you're gonna have some empty possessions, but you can't have back to back empty possessions and miss free throws. We were 5 for 12 from the free throw line that game, and in the second half, so we missed 7 free throws, and we're a 70% free throw shooting team. So you do the numbers there, we make a few more of those free throws, and we probably win the game.
You want to play him again?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did I answer that quick enough? I barely got that out of your mouth for it. Yeah, and I like Landon. Landon and I, we talk all the time. Dodge City coach, and I'm happy for Landon. They won the conference, and obviously we'd have rather won it. If you'd asked me before, I would have told you, if we were going out there the last game of the year at 19-4 in conference, that game was probably going to mean something as far as the conference. But nobody could beat Dodge this year.
I talked to Jeremy about this on Friday. He likes the fact we're both at home.
Oh, yeah.
The routine's all the same now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I don't like having the quarterfinals on a home site, but if you're going to have it on a home site, I'd much rather have it at home than have to go on the road. But, the other thing I like is I like them having Hutch coming in, because then that means that we should have a really good crowd out there, by the time our game is over. There'll be some people out there waiting for the men playing Hutch.
Very good. So tomorrow night, 5:30, Cloud County in. Your feelings going into it, Alan?
It's a grinded out game. It's gonna be possession by possession. It's gonna be one of those games that just we gotta stay tough. We gotta stay mentally tough. We gotta stay physically tough, and we gotta rebound and play defense, and then hopefully, we can execute offensively better than we have against them in the past. So.
Look forward to talking to you next week.
Yeah,
good luck tomorrow night.
Great. Thank you.
Alan Clark with us here on Sports Day. Jim Mizuna's coming in next here on the show.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
The nursing team at the University of Kansas Health System is growing, and they have the place for you in Great Bend. If you have an LPN, RN, or CNA, they want to visit with you about joining one of their care teams. They need people who love to work in home health, labor and delivery, emergency medicine, and surgery-related care areas. To learn more, visit kansashealthsystem.com/GreatBendJobs. The University of Kansas Health System, they have the place for you.
He's a veteran of high school and college sports coverage in Kansas. Sports Day presents the Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mizunas.
Jim Mizunas in here on Sports Day today after a wild and woolly sub-state weekend. How you doing?
Hey, doing great. Doing great. March Madness is here, folks.
And you were talking to Alan Clark about that Little River game. Of course, Alan a little bit invested in that as well with the, but they're hard. You don't see a lot of upsets most of the time, but that St. John win was pretty impressive over Little River.
No doubt. And Pat Stiles was watching that game, and, of course, he's got the scouting report for Little River and trying to doctor it up. And he plays St. John 4 times this year. He doesn't need a scouting report for St. John. So he's just pouring over a scouting report and then happens to tear up the Little River report. Just incredible coaching by Danny Smith of St. John. He's got a freshman, Reagan Bonner, who's just tremendous player. And his other freshman, Mia Meyer, is a tremendous player, too. So they've got 2 freshmen who are really, really good.
And they've got 6'1" sophomore.
And Lydia Reed, 6'1" sophomore, was absolutely tremendous Saturday night, blocking every shot that Central Plains shot in the lane, just blocking every shot, deflecting shots, intimidating shots. And then finally she ended up with 4 fouls, and that negated her effectiveness to a small degree. So, St. John coach Danny Smith had Pat Stiles, not unexpected. Stiles expected that they would slow the game down, but Stiles never got into that trap where he was going to waste energy on his part. He was going to let St. John hold the ball, and then amazingly enough, St. John turns the ball over 9 times in the first quarter. They don't even shoot a field goal attempt, maybe one. Maybe they made their field goal attempt. But Central Plains starts the first half 1 for 16. So to say that worked is an understatement because it totally threw Central Plains.
What was the score at halftime?
It was 9-4. St. John was up 9-4. And Stiles knew that they were a very good man-to-man offense, and so he didn't want to go man-to-man until he had to. And then second half, they went man-to-man and did an excellent job. But eventually, you still got to make a few shots. Brianna Hemeke was having a very mediocre offensive game. This Reagan Bonner held her to 4 of 16 field goals, which is a tremendous effort when you hold somebody to 25%. Hemeke found Kyla Metro in the corner for a 3. Hemeke found Kyla Metro in the corner for a 3. Hemeke hits a 3. Hemeke finds Metro for a 3. Ball game. Well, it really wasn't the ball game because all of a sudden it's 25-23 with 30 seconds left, and St. John's got the inbounds pass. Chance to tie or beat Central Plains and stop the longest postseason streak in state history, 54 games. Brianna Hemeke tips the pass, steals the pass, feeds Metro for a foul, and shoots 2 free throws, so they're up 4 points with 20 seconds left.
Metro hit some big shots last year in the state
She
tournament,
hit some,
right? Yeah, the state championship game.
Yeah, and when you talk to Kyla after the game, very calm, very composed, says, you have to keep your confidence even when you're missing them. And I kept my confidence, and eventually it turned around. We worked too hard for this, and we deserved what happened. So, perfect summary of, hey, you work hard. Don't ever lose your confidence. Don't ever lose your confidence because the next shot may be it. In Metro's case and Hemeke's case, they made the big plays. That being said, Central Plains is vastly undersized. They don't have a big girl. Any team with a big girl inside is going to give them trouble. But those girls will believe in what they're doing. And with Stiles, they can play fast, they can play slow, they can play man zone. Now, they didn't pressure it all full court, but they can do that too. Their depth is a little bit lacking. So Central Plains has virtually no margin for error this year, where in most years they've had tremendous margin for error.
But they still got Central Plains on their jersey.
Whatever that's worth. See, Danny Smith and St. John.
They don't.
Even though they've lost.
But I can see Norwich playing them.
29 in a row. They've beaten St. John 29 consecutive games. It's just amazing. And Central Plains is 87-1 in the Central Prairie League, over the last 11 years. So their streaks are incredible. But again, that being said, if you got a big girl, you're going to give Central Plains trouble. And Central Plains doesn't have much margin for error, but so it should be interesting in Dodge City. There's certainly some teams that compete, but the number 1 team, Little River, is gone. The number 2 team, Pretty Prairie, is gone. And number 3 team, Central Plains, is still alive. So they definitely have a shot, although not much margin for error.
Okay. And since you are the most popular man in western Pawnee County, tell me about your Pawnee Heights girls.
Incredible effort. They got 6 girls. So obviously you got to play zone. You can't pressure. You can't do much of anything except sit in the zone and hope that you score enough points and keep the score down. And that's what happened with Wilson. It was a low-scoring game. And Olivia Hands is a tremendous player at 6'3". She had 25 points, I believe, Saturday night. And her sister, Abby Hands, is a 6-foot freshman, and she's awfully good, too. So they got, for a 1A Division II team with 2 6-foot girls and a 6'3" girl who can shoot the three, shoots 70% from the line and averages 20, 25 a game, that's good enough to compete. And it was good enough in that sub-state because Wilson had a very good team. And Central Plains, the 2 big girls, Abby Hands and Olivia Hands, got the job done.
I thought Marzoff was going to get Wilson. Then they were right in there.
Yeah, they hung right in there with Wilson, and obviously that ball game against Chase just wore out Wilson a little bit, and they were ripe for the picking for Pawnee Heights. First time in school history for the girls. That's tremendous, and with 6 players, it's still incredible. Last year, it was the day before the game started on Friday, and the Central Plains coach sent me an email saying, "We are going to have a team." Well, wait a minute. You said you weren't going to have a team. It was the day before the season was going to start.
Wow.
We found an extra player. We got 6 players. Say, well, good. And I think, what'd they go, 3-18, 3-19? But, hey, those girls probably never imagined or even dreamed of, hey, let's go to the state tournament. Well, girls, it's happened, and enjoy it all you can.
Well, I guess if you're looking for, D1 and D2, and
it's certainly the case in that case.
That other teams get a chance. Okay, Maxville wins, La Crosse wins, and then they got to play each other in the first round.
What a shame! In fact, it's just a shame. There should be some kind of a weird rule that says you can't play a team from your own league because it's just a shame.
I know, but you can't manipulate the bracket.
Well, the Acacia does it every year in 1A. They give teams a fake win. So the Acacia does it every year to these 1A teams. So do not believe that Maxville is 21-2. They are 20-2. They're not 21-2. So don't say 21-2. Say it's 20-2. You don't get a win for a bye. But Maxville, they averaged literally 5 guys in double figures. Same thing Saturday. They get 4 guys in double figures. Tremendous balance. And you never know which guard is going to be hot from the perimeter. They got 4 or 5. Well, basically they play Ryan Kuckelman and then a bunch of guards. I guess you could say Lance Lickus is a forward / center, but
and he's kind of their defensive guy.
Yeah, he's a tremendous defensive. But Maxwell's got a lot of depth. They play a lot of people, and you never know who's going to get hot. So they just roll it out there and say, "Hey, Rogelio Ibarra, is it your night, or is it your brother's night, or is it Gomez's night?" And they'll just crank up 15, 23 pointers and see who's hot. And great defensive team. They pressure a lot. They trap a lot. And so, yeah, they're definitely a team to I don't know if they're the team to beat, but they're certainly a team to factor in that they've got a great shot to win out in Dodge City this weekend.
And it starts with La Crosse. Okay, and then Stafford in the state. We're going to have a full studio tomorrow. We've got a bowling celebration in here with Great Bend High School girls bowling team. And Stafford is sending a contingent up tomorrow, so it's going to be like a jam-packed radio station tomorrow. How about that? First time since 47.
Yeah, that's just tremendous for Stafford. I caught the tail end of that game, came back from the Central Plains game and tried to catch up on some other games on video, and it was really exciting. They had over the shoulder of the Stafford crowd, and they were so excited to see something that literally people hadn't seen in their lifetimes, and just amazing that because Stafford's had some really good athletes and tremendous football teams over the years. I guess it just hasn't translated to basketball. But yeah, they were so excited. Even though Alec Carlson, the All-State from Pony Heights, had 27 points, there were 2, 3, 4 guys on him, and Stafford did a great defensive job on him, even though he gets 27. And again, Stafford's got good balance, and you never know. It was Jimmy Olison who was hot from the 3 Saturday night, and it was another guy for Stafford who got him to this championship game with 3-pointers. So Stafford's got great height. They got a couple 6'4" kids inside.
And they've got a Hildebrand. If you have a Hildebrand on your team, that's
and Kroshenki's another 6'4" kid. So they've got some height and size inside, and they've got some really good perimeter shooters. So Stafford they've got a shot. I mean, definitely Greeley County's a huge favorite, but we'll see. I mean, I think Stafford's got a good shot to win their first game against South Central because, Stafford's played a decent schedule, and then they'll have to play Greeley County in the semis.
Go get those Jackrabbits.
Yeah, they're really good. They virtually got everybody back, and they've got a 2,000-point scorer on their team, and the freshman kid hit the game winner in the state championship game last year. So, yeah, Greeley County's tremendous. And just to touch on bowling for a minute, that bowling is one, I'd say cross-country state is a lot of fun, and bowling state is so much fun. They get bleachers lined up with 6 rows of bleachers, and the place is packed. And it's just amazing how much, what an energetic group those bowlers are. And the format is awfully intriguing because when they get to the Baker format, each player bowls 2 frames. So I bowl the first and the 6th. Steve bowls the 2nd and the 7th, and you go from there. You have your best bowler at the 5th and the 10th because you can get an extra shot or 2. And it obviously worked out well because when Kaylin Wallmeyer was struggling a little bit, but she ended up with one of the Baker games with 3 strikes, so that gives you 20 extra pins. They won by 81 pins, but boy, it can turn in a hurry. So, yeah, tremendous effort by Coach David Feldbauer and the Great Bend girls. Kaylin Wallmeyer was literally in tears after her first 2 games because she knew she was not doing her best. So she shoots a 237 and then gets 8 out of 8 marks, spares her strikes in the Baker game. So she regrouped herself, and she was quite a bit happier when she was lifting the big trophy for first place in the state championship.
It's all good stuff. I wish they'd have it the finals, like the old PBA tour, and Chris Schenkel, they'd be going, and now getting ready to come up to the lane right now, and have it head-to-head. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a tremendous format. And the tricky part at state is you're bowling on 23-24, and the team that you're trying to catch is on 18-19, so I'm jumping back and forth trying to keep track of the scores. And I was easing the tension for the Great Bend parents. I said, no, they're good to go. They're good. The other team just shot 146, and so you guys are good. Just shoot a 180, and you're going to be good.
Go get a hamburger, chill out.
Yeah, so I tried to calm their nerves as best I could.
You're there for everybody.
Yeah.
Jimbo, thanks.
You're welcome.
Jim Mazun is with us here on Sports Day. Coming up, the legend, Pat Stiles. I don't know how the legend, Pat Stiles, or Mike Corson. I guess we get 2 legends coming up next.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Explore the world of Rossum's Universal Robots presented by Barton Theater with multiple showings from March 2nd through the 4th and March 9th through the 11th. In this sci-fi suspense classic, humans have created robots meant to serve humankind, but the robots have other plans and an epic battle between man and machine erupts. The show has been adapted and modernized by Barton Theater from the original 1921 production. Visit shows.bartonccc.edu for tickets.
Farmers depend on their equipment, and equipment depends on its fuel. Cenex Premium Diesel works as hard as you do and comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster even cleans up your injectors and prevents injector fouling, so your equipment can keep firing on all cylinders to make every day a field day. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson, joined today by special guest, Central Plains Lady Oiler coach Pat Stiles. Coach, congratulations on another state appearance.
Oh, thank you. It just never gets old. It's always fun to make it there.
10 straight years for you guys, and I know covering you guys for the last several years, you always talk about the Oiler Way. Might explain to people what that is and how important it was this year.
Oh, I tell you, the kids just are starting to play really well. I kind of at the beginning of the year, mid-season, we were kind of a me team, and then we've just turned into a we team. I mean, we share the ball. We just sacrifice all that individual stuff like minutes, shots, and just play for each other. And when that happens, you can do some special things, which what they were able to do this weekend.
And I've always appreciated that you guys don't shy away from competition. I remember your 100th straight win was at a ranked 4A Concordia team, and you've had Sterling and Haven in there multiple years. This year you had Berean Academy and Phillipsburg with a combined 1 loss. How much will that help you going into state?
Oh, it always does. It just makes us better. Playing those really good teams, just you find out what you need to work on and your weaknesses, and it's just so beneficial. I know it doesn't do much for your seeding once you get there, but I tell you, it just makes you so much better by playing tough competition.
And going into sub-state, we're not used to seeing Central Plains as a number 3 seed. How did the girls approach that?
Well, at the beginning of the year, I saw, oh my goodness, what a tough sub-state that was. And, we just say, let's just take one game at a time. And, we got by Maxville, and then here comes Pretty Prairie. They were just a really, really good team. And, we built a pretty good lead throughout the whole game. And then all of a sudden they take a 1-point lead, and the girls just showed a lot of grit, didn't fold, and we're able to get that one. And then, of course, St. John beating Little River was a big thing for us anyway. So we were able to play St. John for the 4th time, and St. John, they always make us better because they know us so well, and they know our strengths and weaknesses, and they just make us better every time we play them. But we were just fortunate to get by them.
Talking to Central Plains basketball coach Pat Stiles, and I was going to ask, Little River, one of your losses was to them. They had 1 loss on the year. Did you guys want that rematch, or did you feel better having a team that you've beat 3 times?
Oh, well, we were just glad to get by Pretty Prairie. So, we would have done some things different than we did the first time. But, we were just, I tell you, either one, Little River is such a great team, and that's such good players, and St. John, it's just tough to play against. So it was whichever one we had, we knew it was going to be a battle, on which it was.
Going into state as the number 4 seed at 19-4, you'll face Doniphan West at 18-5. So the winner's probably going to get number 1 seed Norwich. You think Norwich is happy about that draw?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm happy about our draw. Doniphan is really, holy cow. I watched them on film, and they play in a tough league, and so they're battle tested just like we are, and they just got some good players. They got 3 seniors that are really good, and have a lot of experience, and some good guards, and they got number 40, the Weatherby girl, who's really tough inside. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one, and if you just lucky enough to get by them, there you got the number 1 seed maybe. So yeah, it's going to be, and it's supposed to be. I mean, you're at the state tournament. There's supposed to be good teams there, which they are, and we'll just take one team. And like I was talking to my son the other day. He said, we're playing with house money. No one with that sub-state, no one expected us to be at state. So we're just going in with the attitude of, just play free and loose and just have some fun.
And just looking back, obviously all the records, but you had Taylor Rolfs, Reagan Phelan, Emily Ryan, the Kreitz kids, Hips, Heckleys. I think the record was 5 titles before you guys, and here you are going for a 9th, kind of 10th. How have you been able to reload every year?
Oh, it's crazy. It's just that mentality, I guess, tradition, whatever. But the girls just come in expecting to win, and I think our community expects us to win, and that puts a lot of pressure on the kids, but they just tend to respond to that. You look back at who we've had, the kids I've been able to coach, just so grateful they allow me to coach them, and oh man, we just like you said, you just mentioned a bunch of kids that are really, really good, and I don't know, it's just I was just thinking, we always go by the grade school on our way to Manhattan or wherever we were going to stay. We'd always stop at the grade school, and the kids get out and they do some cheers for us. And I just think 10 years ago, these girls were probably first graders and second graders and kindergartners watching that, and here they are to get to experience that. That's just so cool.
And one more, I believe the first one you guys won back in Manhattan was Jeffco North, and I seem to remember a quote you had. The girl threw up the half-court buzzer beater that rimmed off, and you thought, uh-oh, this is going to make it on ESPN. Just, do you ever look back, and does the run make sense to you at all right now?
I don't know. It just, and I'm really bad about, once one game's over, I'm looking to the next game. And same way, once one season over, as I'm looking back, I'm looking forward to the next season, what we need to do to get better. And I just, I need to sit back and enjoy it more. But when I look back at what we've done, oh my goodness, it's crazy. I mean, our school has existed for 12 years, Central Plains, and we've gone to state 11 of those 12, and 11 league titles. It's just crazy. It's just so cool. And I just like to say, so blessed to have the kids we've had and the support we've had here.
Not a bad run, Coach. Good luck this week.
All right. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
More Sports Day after this.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison in Great Bend.
You don't have to be a tech expert to enjoy the latest devices. Get a Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus or iPhone 14 Pro Max half off at Next Tech Wireless. Not only are you getting a great deal on those devices, you're also getting them with a great customer service guarantee. We'll help you get your information transferred from your old phone and help you learn the ins and outs of your new phone. Next Tech Wireless.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-355-4107 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-355-4107. That's 800-355-4107. What do you have to lose? Call 800-355-4107. Again, 800-355-4107.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
All right, Jordan Welbrock's going to be on the show on Thursday. We moved him back a day because we've got a lot of high school interviews going on with teams going to the state. But Fort Hays State women lost 66-64 in the MIAA tournament in Kansas City on Saturday night, 66-64, and the Tiger men ended up losing 55-51 to Central Oklahoma. So we'll see if the men are able to get on into the Central Plains playoffs, or I don't know what district they call that now, but anyway, so we're watching that. And Central Plains playing Donovan West. See, it changed. The Highland Blue Streaks used to be one of the coolest names, mascots.
That is a top tier. That's a top tier name. I did not know that's what that used to be called, but the Blue Streaks is I haven't heard one better. The Blue Aces out in Wichita East, I believe it is. That's another good one.
Yeah,
With
that's
the Blue
good.
Streaks. That's
Highland Blue Streaks. Now Donovan West. Western Athletic Conference, Garden City got beat. They got beat by Junction City 46-43, so they don't go on to the state. WAC was shut out. Liberal girls, they got beat in the championship game by Wichita Southeast 57-51 in Liberal. Wow. And the Hayes boys, well, they got pounded by Cape and Mount Carmel 75-46. The Hayes girls go down to Bishop Carroll 67-32. So a WAC-less state tournament coming up.
don't love to see it, but if Great Bend can't be there, nobody gets to be there.
I like that attitude. We'll be back tomorrow. Loaded show all week long here on Sports Day.